This was a while back, but still bothers me to this day. It was 2016, and me, 22, and my husband, 28, were moving into a rental home. I was 6 months pregnant, and we were thrilled to move into a nice community, since before we had lived in a sketchy part of town. We didn't know much about this rental, except it was in a good school district, low crime area, and within our budget. Time passes without any problems, and soon our son was born. His birth was textbook, and he slept well in the hospital. This all changed when we brought him home. The first night home was awful. Every time we set him in his crib, he screamed. I'm not talking a normal "I'm hungry" or "need a new diaper" cry, a legitimate scream like he was in pain. My husband and I had to take shifts at night so one could be with him and the other could sleep. My shift was always second and started around 2 to 3 in the morning. I tried my best to sleep, but shortly after my son's birth, I began having horrible nightmares. I would dream nightly about my son being hurt or needing me, and I couldn't get to him. At my 6-week checkup, I told my OBGYN, and she believed I was having postpartum anxiety and prescribed me medicine and recommended I see a counselor. Weeks passed by since starting the medicine and counseling, and I was still having nightmares, and my son was still screaming all night long. His pediatrician told us it was colic and that we just needed to wait it out. Everything changed when he turned 3 months old. His screaming continued but started to be all day instead of just at night. My nightmares became much more specific. One night I dreamed that I walked into my son's room and he was on fire and screaming. Though I was in his room, my feet were stuck inside his doorway. I couldn't move or speak. I could only watch my son screaming in pain. I woke up screaming and hyperventilating. My husband ran into our room and tried to console me. The next few days I could not sleep. I spent most of my days at work and my evenings sitting on my front porch talking to my next door neighbor. She was the sweetest old lady who had lived in this neighborhood since it was originally built in the 70s. I guess she could tell something was wrong and asked me if I was okay. Reluctantly, I told her how my baby had been acting and how I was having horrible nightmares. She was sympathetic and asked me to elaborate. I didn't feel comfortable telling her the details, so I just told her I had dreams about fires in the house. Her face quickly changed from caring and concerned to horrified. Seconds of quiet felt like hours before she spoke again. Do you know what happened at this house? She said. I told her no. She sighed and looked down before grabbing my hands and looking at me. She goes on to tell me that a few years ago there was a fire at the house due to some faulty wiring done poorly by the landlord. There was a young family with a 3-month-old baby living there, and unfortunately the baby passed away in the fire. She said the couple moved away and the house was renovated and put up for rent after. I was in shock. I ran inside to my husband holding our baby and told him we needed to leave. He must have seen the fear in my eyes since he did not ask me to explain myself until we got in the car. I explained what happened in the house and how I felt like my dreams were warnings that we needed to leave before something happened to our baby. Luckily, my brother-in-law lived in the next town over, so we went there. The first night we stayed in his house, our son slept through the night. Not a single peep. I checked on him every hour since it was so unusual for him to sleep this well. From then on, apart from normal baby stuff, my son never screamed again like he did in that house. My husband packed our stuff and we stayed with my brother-in-law until we were able to get out of our lease and rent a new place. I never went back. I will never go back. I just pray for whoever moved in there next.